African Union Communications, Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing on the progress of the special military operation as of February 8, 2026. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct the special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces, as a result of decisive actions, have established control over the populated locality of Sidorovka in the Sumy region. A defeat has been inflicted on the formations of the armed forces of Ukraine's Assault Regiment and the Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the populated localities of Andreevka and Ugroidi in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv region, a defeat has been inflicted on the units of two mechanized motorized infantry brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Territorial Defense Brigade, and three border guard detachments of the Ukrainian Border Service in the areas of the populated localities of Veliki Buruluk, Malaya Volchya, Kolodeznoe, Nestornoe, Okremovka, Petropavlovka, and Tikoye in the Kharkiv region. The losses of the armed forces of Ukraine amounted to up to 210 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, and 12 vehicles. 6 ammunition depots and 5 materiel depots were destroyed. Units of the West Group of Forces have established control over the populated locality of Glushkovka in the Kharkiv region. A defeat has been inflicted on the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the populated localities of Kovsharovka, Nechvolodovka, Novosinovo, Pechenegi, and Shikovka in the Kharkiv region. The enemy lost more than 150 servicemen, 12 pickup trucks, and 4 ammunition depots. Units of the South Group of Forces have improved their positions on the forward edge. A defeat has been inflicted on the manpower and equipment of 5 mechanized Eagle airborne air assault brigades, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Infantry Brigade, 3 Territorial Defense Brigades, and the Azov Special Forces Brigade in the areas of the populated localities of Belitskoy, Vodyanskoy, Grishino, Dobropole, Kutuzovka, Kucherov Yar, Svetloy, Sergevka, Toretskoy in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Novopavlovka in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The losses of the Ukrainian armed formations amounted to more than 205 servicemen, a U.S.-made combat armored vehicle, Max Pro, 2 pickup trucks, and an artillery gun. Units of the center group of forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions. Personnel and equipment of 5 mechanized, 1 ranger, 1 airmobile, 1 airborne assault brigade, 1 assault regiment of the Ukrainian armed forces, 1 marine brigade, 3 National Guard brigades, and the Azov Special Forces Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Belitskoye, Vodyanskoye, Grishino, Dobropolye, Kutuzovka, Kucherov Yar, Svetloye, Sergevka, Toretskoye in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Novopavlovka in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The losses of the Ukrainian armed formations amounted to more than 205 servicemen, a U.S.-made Max Pro armored fighting vehicle, 2 pickup trucks, and an artillery piece. Units of the East Group of Forces continue to advance deep into the enemy's defenses. Formations of a mechanized assault, 2 airborne assault brigades, and 7 assault regiments of the Ukrainian armed forces were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Orly, Pokrovskoye, Dnipropetrovsk region, Barvinovka, Vozdvijevka, Komunarovka, Rovnoye, Samoilovka, Starokrainka, Tsvetkovo, and Shirokoye Zaporozhye region. The enemy lost up to 390 servicemen, 8 armored fighting vehicles, 16 vehicles, and a Grad multiple launch rocket system combat vehicle. Units of the Dnepr Group of Forces inflicted damage on manpower and equipment of the 128th Mountain Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the area of the settlement of Shcherbaki, Zaporozhye region. Up to 30 Ukrainian servicemen, 2 vehicles, and a warehouse of material resources were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of the Russian armed forces groups inflicted damage on fuel and energy complex and transport infrastructure facilities used in the interests of the Ukrainian armed forces, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 145 areas. Air defense systems shot down 27 HIMARS multiple launch rocket system projectiles manufactured in the USA, 3 Neptune long-range guided missiles, and 42 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 670 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 112,924 unmanned aerial vehicles, 650 anti-aircraft missile systems, 27,553 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,661 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 33,150 field artillery pieces and mortars, 53,913 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.